W dzisiejszym odcinku Świata na wyciągnięcie ręki poznacie Państwo Majka i Andreę, amerykańską parę, która aby spędzić emeryturę w Toruniu postanowiła porzucić swoje życie w Teksasie, stanie, z którym nasz region ma szczególnie bliskie relacje.
Hi, I'm Mike Solik. I'm from Dallas, Texas, basically. I lived there 30 or so, 40 years, married to my beautiful wife, and I was born in Toledo, Ohio.
My name is Andrea Ferrer Solik, and I am from the Dallas area of Texas in the United States. We came here on vacation 5 years ago, had a ball. It was so much fun. My husband's ancestors are from here, and it was always his dream to see Poland, and we just absolutely fell in love with the place. The history, the beauty, the people. I come from a place that's relatively new and young. So for us, an old building is like 150 years old. And to come here and see all the beautiful structures that are centuries old, it was just awesome. We just liked being here. We liked the beauty of it. We liked that it's the center of Europe, which would provide travel opportunities. It's affordable.
My whole life I wanted to go here because my grandfather and my aunt's from Poland. So I tell my sister every year, I want to go to Poland. I'm going to go to Poland. So 5 years ago, I hung up the phone. She called me right back, said I got 4 tickets to Poland. So we ended up in Krakow, and I fell in love. I was amazed by the buildings. You know, we did the salt mines, Auschwitz, and the people took some warming up because in Texas, you say hello to everybody. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? In Poland, you say, you know, hello or good morning or dzień dobry, and they look at you like, what do you want? Once you break through that barrier, they're the nicest people. I mean, I walk into the bakery, I don't even say what I want. They just like, oh, here's your stuff, you know. Same with anywhere I go, the optometrist, we talk, because they like to hear English and practice their English. But we have friends, and we always have something to do every day. Like we're going to hockey games, we go to school, we meet people in the schools. We love the climate. I mean, my friends give me grief because it's cold now, but it's like, I can put clothes on if it's cold. But when it's 106 outside, I can't take enough clothes off to be outside, you know. So, but it's a beautiful area, the people are wonderful. It's inexpensive for us to go to a doctor. Like, the doctors my wife has treated her much better than the doctors we had in America. She was diabetic and her blood sugar would be all over the place. And we go to a specialist here and she's doing great. So everything is just, for us, it's easier life than it was in America. In Texas, if I need a slice of bread, you get in your car, you drive 10 minutes to the store, you buy a loaf of bread, you come back. In Poland, if I want bread, I walk downstairs and it's fresh bread. It's quality stuff. In America, you set a loaf of bread on the counter. A month later, you can come back and eat that bread. You set a loaf of bread down on the counter here. Next day, you got to throw it away. You know, I mean, it's pure and it doesn't have all the preservatives. But we like the walking to the store, walk to the market, we hardly ever touch our car. Like say, if I get up in the morning, I walk and get my wife breakfast. You know, I get her lunch. We walk out to the park every day. We take, you know, the dog around town every day. In America, we couldn't take our dog out in the summer. I mean, he would go to the backyard, come in, right back in. It's just too hot. But here, we love it. We take him to the restaurants. In America, you couldn't do that. You couldn't take a dog to the restaurant. He goes everywhere with us, so we love it. But I really believe that Poland is the Texas of Europe. It's conservative, it's Christian, real independent thinking. They don't care about what Germany says or France says. Poland's like, this is the way we're doing it. This is, you know, the life we want for our people. And the same with Texas. Texas is like, look, no, we don't care what they're doing in Chicago, or this is the right thing to do, and we do it. And I think Poland, we looked at Poland and said, you know, that's just the way they do it. They said, you know, we'll protect our borders, we're a Christian country, we're this, we're that. And those are all things that we admired about Poland. So I was like, that's where we're going. So my brother goes to France all the time, and he complains about the crime and the this and the that. I walk these streets at midnight, 1 in the morning. You don't even worry. You don't even think, oh, somebody's going to get me, or you wouldn't do that in Dallas, Texas. Well, Dallas maybe, no, you wouldn't. It's better here. It's safer here.
Zaczęło się od mojego pierwszego spotkania z panem profesorem Jimem Mazurkiewiczem, który przyjechał kiedyś, przed laty, to już chyba 12 lat temu, z grupą rolników amerykańskich z Teksasu, którzy przyjechali z taką wizytą studyjną po to, aby zapoznać się z naszym sposobem produkcji, ale też przede wszystkim poznać kraj, i to często kraj przodków. W ślad za tą wizytą wyjechało z naszego województwa podczas bardzo wielu wyjazdów studyjnych, myślę, że setki już w tej chwili farmerów, rolników z naszego regionu. Nasi farmerzy, a potem przetwórcy szukali nie tylko technologii produkcji, ale również możliwości budowania rynku zbytu dla naszych produktów, wysoko przetworzonych produktów spożywczych. I tak rzeczywiście jest. Druga odsłona naszych kontaktów z Fort Hood przybywa do nas każdego roku, czy właściwie każdego roku grupa wojsk amerykańskich. Staliśmy się instytucją wsparcia dla tych żołnierzy. Chcemy, aby czuli się jak u siebie w domu dobrze, byli zapraszani na uroczystości nasze, ale też żeby z okazji świąt, chociażby Bożego Narodzenia, Wielkanocy czy innych wydarzeń, nie czuli się tutaj po prostu samotni. I tak rzeczywiście jest. Ta więź, którą zbudowaliśmy przez lata z wojskiem amerykańskim, jest bardzo, bardzo silna. Sądzę, że ma ogromne znaczenie również dla bezpieczeństwa całego państwa, bo opinia o tym, jak są traktowani, jak w przyjacielskich relacjach stacjonują tutaj w niełatwych przecież warunkach na poligonie ci żołnierze, i niesie się w świat. Ja odkryłem w Teksasie bardzo dużo podobieństw do naszej kultury. Trochę jesteśmy konserwatywni, podobnie jak Teksańczycy, pracowici. W Teksasie spotykamy ludzi, którzy są bardzo rodzinni, przywiązani do tradycji. Tam na poważnie traktuje się te rzeczy.
Most Americans don't know what is Poland. What's that like? Because Poland for so many years was off limits to us. And it's a place where grandparents came from but didn't really talk much about as far as details of what the place was like. They might discuss things that happened to them here, but you didn't have a real good sense of what it was like. And so when we said we were moving here, a lot of people were like, well, what is that? You know, it's a big mystery for a lot of people because Poland doesn't come up as a #1 tourist spot, you know, when Americans are talking about going to Europe. And I think that's a shame. We have brought a lot of friends here with us on vacations and opened up a lot of eyes.
My daughter threw a fit because we just had a granddaughter. My son, it didn't really matter to him. But our friends, we were very close to them. But it's like, look, this way you can come see us. You might come by once every 2 weeks, you know, if we live in Texas. If you come here, we get 10 days with you, or 2 weeks. And we go see things, go travel a little bit, see whatever we want to see. In Texas, you go drive, sit there, play cards for one night, and go home. Here, we got them for 10 days, so we love it. But we had to listen to some stuff on the way out. But my mother, who was passed away in January, we talked about this for about a year and a half. She's like, Mike, you go. Don't wait. If this is what you want to do, get in your car, go to the airport and go. You will never regret it. When my father retired, they moved to South Texas from where they lived. And no relatives around or anything, but he was happy. Something to do every day, you know. So she's like, Mike, go, you know, live your life, enjoy it, and don't worry about, you know, like you got a granddaughter, because she goes, if you wait 5 years, you may not be able to walk everywhere, do everything, you know, and that granddaughter is going to have things to do every day. You're going to get her on the weekend, or so like we had her this summer, and we got 10 days to just go to the zoo, go to the park, go to this. So she was right. It was the right thing to do for us. We found, well, we looked at houses around, but we found that Torun was a small Krakow, kind of. The same beauty, the same everything, but not so packed with thousands and thousands of people every day. You know, the restaurants are always packed in Krakow. I mean, the area is beautiful, but Torun's beautiful too. So we actually came and looked at this apartment. We walked downstairs and ate. We walked around town for about 2 hours and said, that's what we're doing. And we called the guy up and said, hey, we're buying your place. And that was it.
We like the small town atmosphere of Torun, and we like the quintessential European look and feeling of being in this area. You know, because there are places where we could be somewhere back home. I mean, when I say that, what I'm saying is they look much like neighborhoods or areas where I'm from, whereas this is unique to us and to what we're used to.
Polish is very hard to us because they make sounds we don't make. And in America, this table is red. There's never another ending for red. Oh my gosh, the first time the lady said, this is green, then this is green if it's before that word, and this is green if it's before that. Oh my gosh. As a matter of fact, my wife sat down to take her first exam, and the lady laid it out to her, and she goes, I'm leaving. She had to stay to take it, but she's like, I'm going home, give me the keys. Like, nope. But it's a very hard language. Sounds we don't make. We don't roll our R's, or the two letters together make a different sound. But one thing, once you learn the alphabet, you can sound out every word. You don't have to think about, you know, it's the I before E, or you can figure out every word. And it's a very difficult language to learn. But there's days I go, well, matter of fact, I was doing Babel while I was waiting on you, so just to learn. But we've done it about a year, and we got many years to go. So, but as you go further, it gets a little bit easier. You just got to learn the grammar then.
What is difficult for us, I guess, would be that there is the masculine and the feminine and neutral, and all that goes with that. You know, trying to learn the language. You know, we don't have that in English.
We could say, you know, like, what's your name, and, you know, Ili Castuya, how much this costs, and so we get around pretty easy. You know, and you learn to say the different hellos and how you doing, you know, so swehach or yakdam or whatever you want to say. But it's when they speak back to us really fast. We're like, what? And but we're getting to where we can at least read it now. It's not so fast, but it's an interesting language. I have nothing but free time, so we go to school. We each go to school twice a day. We like to go see castles, and we like to go see the older, like we've been to Biskupin, and we like the trains, so we take a train here to Poznan or Bydgoszcz or just something to sightsee. We walk every day. We walk around town, or we'll take our bikes and you know, just sightsee, and we're amazed by the tram system here in America. But like, I want to go to Obi, I walk over, get on the tram. So I'll spend my day either fiddling around, reading, walking through town, going to see something. We'll like get up in the morning, go to Ino Wrocław and have lunch and walk around. We go to hockey, so I've got to learn all the bad words, you know, because they say a lot of the bad words there. But I don't think I've only missed one game, and it's close enough that we walk to the rink. You know, it's kind of chilly, but we walk to the rink, watch the hockey games. We go to volleyball. Because in America it's not that way. the crowd is just totally into it, you know, and it's loud and fast, and it was very, and the guys have talent. You know, we play, it's like, these guys have it down to a science. So we go to volleyball with our first teacher from school. We stay in touch with her, and she's from Helmsha. So we go up and visit her little town, but she took us to the volleyball game. Of course, she's one of the, in Poland I've noticed the girls are 5 feet tall or 5'9", and she's one of those tall, beautiful women that just, she's so outgoing and sweet. And she's like, come on, let's go to volleyball. And we went ice skating with her, and you know, it's just a wonderful.
Explore Torun, explore Poland in general. You know, during the Christmas season, we love going to all the various Christmas markets here in Poland. We don't really have those back home, so that's a lot of fun for us. Just the city, like the castle ruins, the various hotels and their history. We spend a lot of time with friends. We've met some wonderful people since moving here. And I think to a large extent, you get back what you put out. So, you know, if you put out an angry or negative vibe, well then, no, you're not gonna meet many people, you know? And I think that's one reason, you know, we're pretty open people and love to meet people, and I think that helps a lot.
There was a time in my life where I was a manager of a company, and I didn't enjoy that because I was inside every day. So I enjoyed working outside, so we worked in the mines, and I did installed and calibrated belt scales on the huge conveyors in the stone quarries and coal mines, salt mines, and refineries. So it was a day-to-day. I'd leave the house on Monday morning, I'd travel 4 or 5 hours, San Antonio or Galveston, work there a couple days, go somewhere else, work a couple days, and come back either Thursday night or Friday, and then back on the road. But summers working outside in Texas for 8 or 10 hours on the steel, oh, just a beat down.
Like summertime, you couldn't hardly go out. We couldn't walk the dog because it'd be so hot that he'd burn his feet on the pavement. But here, the weather is more mild, so we can get out more, and that's really nice. So as a result, I think that I'm less sedentary since moving here. I'm more active, I get out and about, and I know for a fact my husband does.
My wife would walk maybe 800 steps a day at home. Now she's doing 6,000–10,000 steps every day. So, and it's just nice. You can go out and walk and say hi to people, and people stop and visit with us. And we meet the troops. You know, there's plenty of Army troops here, so we meet them and shoot the breeze a lot, but we're content. I'm very happy here.